James had been asked to do autobiography loads of times before, after Sydney Olympics, after Athens, when he'd rowed the Atlantic, when he'd raced the Antarctic, and he'd always said, no, I haven't really done anything interesting. Then in 2010, he was hit by a truck when he was cycling across America. We've had a hell of a couple of years, and the timing then just felt right to write about James's story and everything he'd been through and everything we've been through as a family.
In terms of getting into endurance sport, the choice was fundamentally because hand-eye coordination wasn't so good. And then having some physiological benefits of a good heart and lungs, and endurance sport, if you're prepared to put the hours in, you'll get the positive feedback.
Olympic gold medalists are not like normal people. They are very driven, very focused, and can be really difficult to live with. But I think post-accident, those qualities of determination and drive have allowed him to push himself on to make the best recovery that he can.
The race across America that I did with Discovery, cycling through to Death Valley, then running through Death Valley, the hottest place in the world, and then cycling up 66, rowing Lake Erie, one of the Great Lakes, cycling to New York, then swimming down the Hudson towards the Statue of Liberty. So from west to east in America, I'd never finished it. The accident in America, I was cycling about 6 o'clock in the morning, nice big road, and I was maybe doing normal cycling speed, and I got hit from behind by a fuel truck.
This gave him a contra-coup injury, which is basically where the brain is swung forward in the head. So in fact, even though the impact is on the back of the head, the injury is to the frontal lobes. And the frontal lobes control our personality, and they dictate who we are, how you're motivated, your sense of humour, how you communicate, how you express emotion.
And as for memory, I have nothing, I would say, for a month. And then after that, I have some bits that I can remember, which they call islands.
You know, he doesn't remember any of this now, but he certainly, bore very, very little resemblance to the man that we all knew and loved. I found out that I was pregnant with our third child about 9 days after the accident. At that point, we didn't know what the prognosis was going to be with James. You know, how much of him was going to remain. We knew that he wasn't paralysed. We knew that he recognised me and he recognised his family, which was a really good sign. But he was by no means able to function independently, and we didn't know how long it would be until that would be possible.
The challenges that we're facing and have faced since the accident are what a lot of people are facing. Is that when we left hospital, the neuropsychologist said 80% of people with a brain injury get divorced. For me, since the accident, there's been having to look at things a different way, and also people's assumptions of a brain injury are massive. From people I knew incredibly well would talk to me like I was a foreigner.
Neither of us really ever take life that seriously, and I think that's been one of my coping strategies. That's been one of the ways that you handle it.
The hardest thing for her is that I am not the person she stood next to in the aisle 10 years ago. I'm not the person that she was married to 2 years ago. I'm not the father to Croyd I was, for the first 6 years of his life. I am very different, and I'm determined to get back to being that person, or an improved version of that person. But whether I will or not, I don't know. But I know Bev's endured a hell of a lot over the last 2 years that I certainly couldn't have. And I love her all the more for it, but I probably don't share her enough.